everybody. Welcome to another episode of Carolyn Talks Television. I'm Carolyn Topol, and I'm here with my terrific, amazing co-host,
Hello.
Rachel Arnett.
Hello, how are you?
And now that it's spring, while we do enjoy getting out a bit, we also are trying to squeeze and cram in all the new shows streaming. And there's a lot of new shows streaming, and because the season started late, there's a lot of new shows even that are network shows. Everything is coming out now.
I was going to say, there is a lot happening now when normally things would be slowing down a little.
Right. And like last month, all the movies up for Oscars flipped to either Netflix or Peacock or whoever, or Max, whoever was handling them. So we had that to squeeze in, because people like me, if I can watch the Oscars and I haven't seen the movie in the theater, I kind of like to see it, unless it's a genre that I could just live without.
Yeah, I have not seen Oppenheimer yet, but I will. I know I will. I just wasn't going to be depressed in a movie theater for 3.5 hours.
No, but I saw Oppenheimer in my living room. Wow, worth every minute.
Well, I'm going to have a lot more time to watch coming up.
It's not one of, and I will say, Oppenheimer, if you haven't seen it, you know, whatever the network is playing it, be it Max or whoever, watch it, because I will say there is a movie about a ship, rhymes with Titanic, that when I saw that movie, I felt they owed me an hour because the real ship sank faster than the movie went.
At times, yeah.
Okay, just saying. Oppenheimer, it was long, but I never was waiting for it to finish.
Wow.
I was on the edge of my seat with anxiety, saying, like, can we move on and find out what happens?
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, we don't mind that.
Yeah, and you know what? I knew how Oppenheimer ended also.
Yeah, that's true. We do have.
I mean, and I knew that, it involves also, like, congressional hearings and stuff.
Yeah.
I knew historically how that ended, and I was still excited to see this because it was done in a way we don't know and we haven't seen in the background. There's a reason they got a lot of Oscars.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you haven't seen the Oscars yet, sorry, spoiler alert, they got a lot.
A lot of them.
They got a lot of them. But now, with all the nice stuff happening in the spring, I'm trying to squeeze in some serious viewing time. And everybody here knows, I mean, look, I wouldn't have Carolyn Talks Television if television wasn't something I loved. I am having a really hard time having a real life and getting into my TV stuff. What about you? I mean, you have a full-time job.
I have a full-time job and a 10-year-old and other responsibilities. So during a typical week, I think I maybe get actually sitting in front of a TV maybe 2 hours a week. During a working school week.
Right. And as a retiree, I've decided that I'm going to be the volunteer queen of the century.
Yep.
So every time I turn around, someone says, would you? And I say yes before they finish the sentence.
And then you find out it's a 6-month commitment 4 times a week.
Oh, yeah, no, I just signed up for a 2-year commitment that I didn't even know I was going to do. So, you know, that keeps happening, which is great. Being active and retired is how it should be. You shouldn't be retired and crawl into your hole, So this is great. However, while it's not as small as 2 hours a week, I am certainly having to scale down viewing time and trying to figure out how to squeeze in everything I want to see.
Yeah. So Zach and I, my kiddo and I, it took us, I think, probably 2 months to finish the new Avatar series that just came out. It's 8 episodes. Okay. 8 35 to 45-minute episodes. So not a huge...
So which one is this on?
So this is a Netflix live-action remake of the Nickelodeon animated series Avatar and the Last Airbender.
Okie doke. Okay.
It came out after I was a kid, but I know my sister and her husband love it, and Zach watched the animated series over the course of last summer. Like, that was one of his shows that he would watch 1 or 2 30-minute episodes a day, but it takes much longer because it's an animated series and there are a lot of episodes. There's 3 seasons. We just finished the Netflix version, which I actually really like, they condensed a lot of episodes into single episodes. So whereas there are times when you watch the animated series that there are a lot of filler episodes, it feels like. You know, they're spending 8 episodes looking for you don't know who Appa is, but he's a giant flying, I'm going to call him a big hamster. He's a big flying hamster.
Giant flying hamster. All right, that
with a lot of personality.
That doesn't creep me out. It just sounds interesting.
He's not really a hamster, but he's a water buffalo, or air buffalo. It's fine.
A flying water buffalo.
That's an air buffalo.
Really
it's
fun.
very
That's
good.
Fun. Okay.
It's hard to understand. But either way, it was one of those things where we would watch, an 45-minute episode here, and then 2 weeks later we'd have enough time in between. And so even with my kiddo, we're like stretching out series.
Okay.
But we have to make like a concerted effort to remind ourselves.
You're scheduling for certain shows.
For certain shows. Because that's a show that he absolutely loves. It's my first time really directly engaging it. But because it's something that we are watching together, and even though he's 10, he's got school, he's got clubs, he's got activities. So we would pick, like, we're going to watch it together this Wednesday night, and then this coming weekend we'll try and get 2 more episodes in.
I mean, a 10-year-old child probably works as many hours as my husband, who works full-time.
Yeah, between school and activities, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, and they're committed times. They're not like, you could flake out on them times.
Exactly, and so that's our one big show that we've been watching. We're now working on squeezing in the last season of Lego Masters.
Oh, okay.
And that's about 45 minutes, too. We've got some more episodes there. But it's kind of, with the two of us, I probably watch more shows with Zach than I do by myself during the school week, too, just because I don't have very much time that's like just me time.
And see, what I was finding is that one of my best ways to watch things I am really interested in seeing is I've become a DVR maniac.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I have, there's probably some term that's going to come out with this, one of those, DVR-iac or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I am going nuts with my DVR. I set it for so many things, and as I'm setting it, I don't know if you realize this, folks, so I'm just going to tell you, you probably all know this, and I'm the last to know, or one of the last, but if you look in the top right corner of your DVR, in the section that shows your shows as a written list only, not with their cute pictures, on the top right-hand corner of your TV screen, there is the percentage filled. So you know what you've got sitting there and how much space you have left. And for example, while I love current things, I sometimes like watching old movies and classics. At times, what they do for me is what for many people, and me too at night, but what meditation and calming things do for you.
Oh, yeah. There's a comfort in old.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So for me, when I watch an old movie, that takes me to a place where, first of all, I know the ending.
Yeah, it removes the anxiety from movies that are tense because you're aware of the resolution.
And old movies have something of it's not going to challenge me in terms of the special effects or anything like that. You know what you're getting. If you watch a movie from the 30s and the 40s, there's not going to be what you get now if you watch a movie that might have some surprising moments in it where you're like going to jump off your chair. However, getting the time to then view them while they're chunking up that space on your DVR is a challenge. And I have found myself actually watching movies that I adore. I did this last week. One of my favorites was on again, so I DVR'd it, A League of Their Own. Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's actually constantly on our
DVR list. Okay, so
there's like 4 or 5 movies that we just don't delete because we'll rewatch them 20 times.
Yeah, I have a few of those. One of mine is Funny Girl, if anybody needed to know. Like, you couldn't guess that, folks, but if you've listened to me at all for the past few years, you knew that one. But A League of Their Own was on again, and I just figured this would bring it up in the queue, so I'd see it. I recorded it. Now, I don't know about you, but the other thing about movies I'm familiar with is I know what's going to happen.
Yep.
And I know the scenes I could live without
Oh,
seeing
yeah,
a
fast
second
forward
time.
through.
So that's the best thing. If you DVR and you don't have time, but you really want to see the stuff you love, use that fast forward button. It can be your friend on a DVR like nothing else.
With TV shows, so I've started, they started a new season of So You Think You Can Dance, which is a series that I absolutely love, but there have been a lot of changes behind the scenes,
right?
Including producers and things like that. But my favorite thing to do on performance reality shows especially is fast forward through most of the talking. Yes. Sometimes I'll fast forward even through the judging. Like, I just want to see the performance, feel how I feel about it, because I either agree or disagree with the judges, but it's not helping me enjoy it. I am so glad you said
that. That's how I watch Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. I just watch the performances.
I need to hear them talk. Yeah. Like, I'm not watching the show for talking. This is the show about dancing.
So it's great, because an hour and a half episode ends up really being only about 20 minutes.
There you go.
So that's definitely one trick that I use when I love a show, but I just can't bring myself to sit for the full hour and a half. And with DVR especially, it's so easy to just go through commercials.
That's the nicest thing, because if you do watch something on demand, once again, I'm alerting this, many on-demand shows, especially if they're affiliated with cable and network TVs, you cannot fast forward through the commercials. When they give you a commercial, you just got to watch them. Otherwise, it bounces you back to the beginning of your show. I tried it once to see what would happen. That was not fun, because you can't fast forward after that. I mean, it just doesn't happen, right? But the other thing I'll say, here's a DVR warning for everybody. Oh. What's been happening lately is certain shows may come after a sporting event. Mm-hmm. And if the sporting event goes over and the network has decided to watch the whole sporting event for whatever cuckoo choice reason they've done,
some people like sports.
The DVR, which I thought was supposed to follow that, but I guess it doesn't. Your show starts and I'm watching the end of some golf tournament. You love golf? That far be it from me to criticize. Enjoy your golf. But if I wanted to watch a show, let's say like Tracker, one of my new shows I enjoy, and it starts 25 minutes after its airtime, I'm not getting the end of my show.
You only get that first.
So here's a warning. When you're doing DVR scheduling, there is a pane that says record options. Click into that, modify it. Okay, so you click, you say you're going to modify, and you go in and you scroll down, and there's a place to add to the end time. Mm-hmm. And if you add 30 minutes to the end time, it helps on network shows. The other thing it does is if you find something on PBS during a time they're raising money, you want to add that 30 minutes, otherwise you'll never see the end of your shows. Mm-hmm.
I've done the same for award shows in the past. When the Oscars used to go over by half an hour all the time, I would add the extra hour. And sometimes even start 15 minutes early so I can catch some of the red carpet.
Right.
So
keep in mind you can modify your DVR, and it does help. It does help to do that. Once again, the old movies, you need time to watch them. You probably don't. I have Gone with the Wind is on my DVR queue. Yes, I know it's not PC, but then again, 1939 is not 2024.
Yeah.
And I take that seriously.
Yeah, and you take that within the context that it was made.
So my finger is on my fast forward button through quite a bit of scenes in Gone with the Wind, by the way. I won't say which ones.
There are a lot of scenes in a lot of shows. Sometimes even there are like groups of characters in an ensemble show that I just either am not interested in or opposed to, for some reason they get to me in a negative way. So I'll like skip past those scenes even on DVR. So it's not always the case, but it's nice to have DVR if you can to help speed things up.
Okay, so what have you been watching that you've been giving yourself the time to watch? And now you were on vacation, so you used
I was
that
on
time
vacation last week,
watch
and
some
so
stuff.
Last week I watched two shows in particular. One, if you have not started it yet, The Tourist on Netflix.
Okay.
It's a two-season show so far. It is an Australian comedy thriller. Comedy action thriller. The premise, which you find out really quickly, is Jamie Dornan, who most people know from the 50 Shades of Grey books.
Okay.
Or movies, I should say.
Movies. Yeah.
But also was the huntsman in Once Upon a Time in the first season. That's actually where I first saw him, was on TV. He plays someone who is in a car accident and has lost all memory of his life before the car accident. And Danielle McDonald, who most people know from Dumpling on Netflix, which was a movie, is another Australian actress and who plays a local police officer or someone who's in the process of becoming a police officer.
Okay.
And it is funny in ways that it shouldn't be, because it's like, it's not gory, but it's action movie and there's twists and turns. So there's murder, there's things blowing up, there's
when there's humor, it's dark humor.
But it's dark humor.
Okay.
Like one of the scenes that I laughed for far too long was Jamie Dornan's character is running away from people who have kidnapped him or are trying to kidnap him. And as he's running away, he doesn't know the terrain, so he keeps like hitting these dead ends. And it's like they take the chasing scene like 30 to 45 seconds beyond what it would normally be in a movie or TV show. So as he's going, he's like, darn it. And then he'll like go another way. Darn it. And then go another way. Darn it. And you just see the like, there's just something funny about seeing the actual effort behind running away instead of in a spy movie where they just run away and it's easy and quick. Like they're just moments where they address like, in real life, what would this actually be like? And that's where I think a lot of the humor comes from. It's a pretty short series. Each episode's about 48 minutes. 8 episodes and 6 episodes in the series. Rumors of a third season, which I'm hoping for because I think they have really great chemistry and just all of the acting is really good.
Do they close the arc at the end of each season?
They do, and they also provide like a little hint that more is possible.
Okay.
With the end of the second season, there was a pretty big revelation, but I actually would feel comfortable if it ended after the 2 seasons, because the second season really closed the loop of the first season, a lot of it.
Okay.
So a lot of the mystery was solved. So I don't even like burning need for more, but I would love more because I loved it.
Gotcha.
It wasn't one of those series where at the first season it ends and you're like, wait, what? There's got to be more. But thankfully there was. Both seasons were already on.
Okay.
So that was one that was easy to kind of fit in over break. And then we've been working on the Avatar series, like I said, when I'm not on vacation. A lot of times, I don't know if a lot of people listen to music while they work. I find myself singing along to music too much, and it actually ends up being a distraction. So I will put on a show in the background that's some kind of procedural, something that I don't really pay a lot of attention to, and it's background noise. So I finished the New Amsterdam series.
Okay.
just in the background at work.
Okay.
And it was just
now for me, what I've been doing is I tend to wake up early in the morning to exercise. I've mentioned that before. Mm-hmm. And when I do that, the best thing about it is that's when I can watch the news.
Yeah.
Or listen to the news because I'm focusing on the exercise, but you don't have to watch someone report the news.
Yeah.
And then frequently I DVR one of the morning magazine shows, and it turns that wonderful 2-hour show into about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is also good because I don't need to hear them chat about.
No.
And it's okay. They can, and it keeps people company in the morning. I know
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
But I have other things I want to watch.
Yeah. I actually know a lot of people who, like, while they're doing their morning work routine will, like, have the Today Show up or something like that, especially in the summer when there's a lot of musical guests. They'll have, like, that playing on in the background if they're working from home or even at work.
Right. And I'm a Good Morning America girl, so I do that show. It's either way.
Yeah.
They're both fabulous, wonderful morning shows, completely entertaining. However, when I'm home in the morning, frequently I do not have my umpteen volunteer jobs are not happening at 10 o'clock a.m. So that's when I try to squeeze in that viewing time. Either if there's a Netflix piece I want to see. For example, I am trying to now carve out a time because this is a movie I want to see. Believe it's on Netflix, Shirley.
Oh.
About Shirley Chisholm.
Yeah.
And I would like to carve out the time. It's gotten some really nice reviews. And I'd like to see that very much. It's an outstanding piece of history. She was an amazing person.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. The other thing you can do, as the weather gets warmer, if you're a person who likes to sit outside and you're at a point that you don't feel like reading, because reading a book outside is wonderful too, but you want to close your eyes. If you've got a really nice data plan, which most of us do now, because most phone plans come with these unlimited data plans, what you can do is turn on to whatever viewing attachment you have, whether it be Xfinity or, you know, what, be it a digital thing, streaming places you subscribe to. Go to whatever app you have on your phone, and unless you're married to watching everything, if it's a show you can listen to while you're laying outside, which is a lot of shows you can listen to, and this also works for me with those repeats that are sitting on the DVR. I can sit outside, close my eyes, because I've seen the show probably many times over and over, and listen to what you've been recording. Listen to the show you want to stream if you have the Netflix app and you've seen it once before, you want to listen again, or you could just, you don't have the time, but this is how you're going to get two things done at the same time.
Yeah. When I think about some of the shows, especially that are now comfort shows, like I'll watch Superstore over and over again, just from start to finish. Like I start one, I finish it, and then when I finish it, especially at the gym, then I'll start. That's another time I'll fit something. It is on the treadmill or the bike at the gym. I'll watch like my 30-minute series. And sometimes, if it's a good show like Superstore, I'll get to the end of the show before I realize I've gone 25 minutes on a bicycle. So that's even better.
Okay, that's even better.
That's even when I can laugh through something.
Young Sheldon is a good 30-minute TV show. Ghosts. Okay, you heard I had said how wonderful I loved it. I'm not loving it anymore.
It's hard sometimes when you hit the next season.
I'm finding myself fast-forwarding some of the ways that they are handling storylines are silly and trite and predictably written in a, you couldn't think of something more creative. Because the show itself is so creative, although it is from England, so it's not as creative as Americans could have been.
Yeah.
Because they already stole the idea. But that's okay.
Yeah, but they've done like an American twist on it.
American twist on it, yeah. But right now the American twist is getting to be sort of the characters are no longer enriching and they're trying to keep it alive. And, you know, there's just a time that resuscitation on a TV show is not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, another network show that's losing momentum, while Young Sheldon made the choice. They're at the height. They're at a point in the storylines, and I was wondering how much longer are they going to go. And just when I'm thinking that, what do? Final season, they made a choice.
Yeah. I think that picking a season to be a final season is huge. There's so many shows that I loved that just went on 1 or 2 seasons.
The Good Doctor is in its final season. If you've watched it or haven't watched it, I think it's really worth tuning in. They are at a point in the show where there was the final season. I was like, what else are they going to do? And every episode, I'm like, did they really do that? Did they really go there? They have done so much this season, and it's the final season of The Good Doctor, a show that originated as a Korean show.
That's right.
About an autistic young man who becomes a surgeon. And I was so skeptical. And I have a special needs child, so I was skeptical. wow. They're ending on a note. They started here for a time, went like this, like this. They're ending here. They are coming out with some episodes that when I'm done watching them, I'm glad I DVR'd it, so I didn't watch it at night, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I need a cleansing breath, which is
Turns
great.
out, TV writers, we needed them.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing how much better TV has gotten now that AI is not writing it.
Oh, and please, 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 when you're talking about reality TV, and I know some people think it's the best thing, next to sliced bread, if you do, my apologies, I'm not one of you. I'm not.
No.
And I think it was just proven this past week, as I'm recording this, the Golden Bachelor. Everybody was so into this senior bachelor, and oh, this is so wonderful, and he found love again. And they got married right away so everybody could see how wonderful their marriage was. It's been 3 months, folks, and they're getting a divorce. They announced it this week. 3 months to divorce. Pick what you watch wisely. This is that was my cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Use your time
If you're
wisely.
going to be emotionally invested in a show,
right.
just think about where you want to invest your energy.
And I'm going to alert everybody right now, also alerting your energy, the Billy Joel special that was on last night was such a big deal and so propped up. They cut off the end while he's playing Piano Man and went to the news. And yes, the whole country, social media lit up. People who weren't staying up late to watch it thought Billy Joel had passed because he was trending.
It was like Billy Joel trending. Oy.
Because it was, trust me, I am sure CBS will not forget this moment and have to do something really big to make up for that one. Use your time. Outside, inside, cell service, data plans,
Vacation.
Carve out the time, literally put it in. We're watching this, and we will see you next time. You let us know what you're viewing.
Yeah. We
For
want to know.
Rachel and I, Carolyn Talks Television.